everyone and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. My name is Katarina. If you're wondering where my glasses are, I decided not to film with them because it's just too difficult for me with the lighting. Maybe I will take a picture of myself with the glasses on, show it here, because yeah, they are something that I do wear. That's it about the glasses. Let's get to today's video, which is going to be a little beginning of the year declutter. These are basically some products that I don't want to bring with me to 2026. I kinda do want to start the year fresh. However, I will say this is the second time that I am filming this video because I noticed that I'm starting to have a kind of like a mindset shift with decluttering, and I did change my mind about a couple of things that I was supposed to declutter, and I actually still want to keep them. And in the beginning of the video I do want to have a little chat. This is now the first time that I'm feeling actually guilty over decluttering makeup that I don't like, and that also tells that there is a bigger mindset shift that I'm starting to have, because I have not felt guilty over decluttering in such a long time. Now I do, but I still don't want to force myself to use up makeup that I absolutely do not like. That being said, I do want to remember this feeling next time when I am tempted to buy makeup that I don't need. When it comes to decluttering makeup, I kinda can see two camps of people. The people who have really hard time letting go of their products. I do think this kind of never letting go of the products, sometimes it can lead to people forcing themselves to use up makeup that they really do not like. And of course then when it comes to makeup that is really old and expired, the product maybe doesn't work how it used to work, but also there is always a risk of getting an infection out of it. But then there is the other opposite, people who declutter makeup maybe a little bit too easily. It can really easily lead to just buying more makeup to fill the collection back in again. And I unfortunately think that I have been belonging a little bit more to this camp. I feel that I have been in this cycle where I'm never really happy with my collection. So I buy too much makeup, then I declutter it, or then I force myself to project pan it, and then again I buy so much makeup. So if I don't address my consumption habits and get to that problem and change the way that I buy makeup, no amount of decluttering or project panning is going to make me happy with my collection and satisfied. I am currently on a no buy, so I am not going to buy anything new. I will be on a replacement only no buy for the first 4 months of the year. Also, I have had this idea that I either need to absolutely love a product or then I need to get rid of it. Whether it is by hate panning the product or by decluttering it. But I think now I kind of do want to practice just owning this makeup for now. It is okay if I have it and use it in every once in a while. It doesn't need to be under any project where I'm actively working on it. But then again, it doesn't need to be a favorite. Yeah, I think from now on I'm going to approach decluttering a little bit differently. That being said, let's now get to the products that I am going to declutter, because these I just really do not want to bring with me to the new year. Let's talk about eye products first, and there is one product that I am going to completely declutter, and that is a mascara that just does not work for me, unfortunately. I would like to use this up, but there's just so many things wrong with this mascara. So this is the Essence I Heart Extreme Crazy Volume Waterproof Mascara. Every once in a while I try a waterproof mascara and then I remember why I don't like them. They so often do have this really dry formula, and when I get it to my lashes it looks like there's these really small clumps, and yeah, there's something in waterproof formula where it just looks dry on me. Maybe I have not tried a good one, but then again, even though it is waterproof, it is still going to smudge on my lid because I do have hooded eyes. I don't see a point of using a waterproof mascara that is going to make my lashes look dry and clumpy, but still having that mess on my lid. And then it's difficult to get out of my lashes because it is waterproof. And then also, the wand of this is absolutely horrible. It is so big. For reference, I'm going to show the wand of the mascara that I do use, which is the Lash Without Limits. I do have of that a brown one and a black one, but I think in future I want to move to using only black mascara. There you can see the difference with these wands. Like, that crazy volume wand is just enormous, and then it is like really choppy all over, so it is extremely difficult to get to the shortest lashes with this one. So yeah, it's just too many things wrong with the mascara for me to make it work. In future I'm just going to stick to this mascara because it is that good. Alright, then I decided to depot two eyeshadow palettes, so my ABH Soft Glam and my Juvia's Place Nubian Earth. The depotting didn't go quite as planned, unfortunately. I maybe now do regret a little bit my decision to depot these, but it is one of those things that I cannot go back anymore. I depotted the whole Soft Glam palette, but then afterwards I decided that I'm going to keep all of the shades except the shade Noir, which is the black one. Now, I'm not going to keep this one because I don't really use black eyeshadow. The only thing I would use black eyeshadow for is to use it as a liner, but then because I do have hooded oily lids, I will always have that line transferring to my upper lid. But then also, after depotting this eyeshadow, there is a little crack there. And in my magnetic palette, which I'm going to show you in a minute, I do have there some blushes, and then I do have there some lighter colored eyeshadows, and I absolutely do not want to have a black eyeshadow shadowing on my blushes. But then let's talk about the Nubian Earth palette by Juvia's Place, which the depotting didn't go quite as planned, because what I really wanted to keep from here were the more neutral shimmers. There were maybe like 3 shimmers that were not super warm toned, and then I wanted to keep the mattes. However, unfortunately, the mattes just did not survive the depotting. Juvia's Place matte formula is quite powdery, and all of them just cracked and shattered. But then also what I am going to declutter from this palette, what I'm not going to be putting to my magnetic palette, are these warmer shimmers. So the gold tones, that bronze one. That peach I would keep if it was a proper formula, but that is just extremely bad. Maybe I will try to swatch it. It's one of those that, you know, it's like, where is the eyeshadow even? The reason why I'm not keeping the warm eyeshadows from this palette is because all of those warm shades, that like the golden and bronzy tones that were in these palettes, are also in the Soft Glam palette, but the Soft Glam shimmer formula is just so much better. I unfortunately find that this Juvia's Place palette is not nearly as good quality as some of their palettes. Like in the past I used to have their Nubian palette, and then also I had the Nubian 2, which actually was my favorite eyeshadow palette back in the day. There was not a single bad shade, but unfortunately here, like, I think the mattes were okay, and then some of the shimmers, the ones that I decided to keep, which I will show you soon, they are nice, but then the warm neutrals, for whatever reason, they're just the kind of formula that is a little bit more sheer, like it just doesn't perform so well, but also that would get hard panned. So why would I keep that if I do have similar shades from the ABH palette but that are performing way better? And then let's take a look about what I decided to keep from those palettes, because they're now living in my magnetic palette. I have not had any stuff here in a while. I think since decluttering my old and expired depotted eyeshadows. After that, this one has been empty, but now I do have here some blushes that I depotted, and then those eyeshadows. So the ABH mattes, I decided to keep everything except Noir, so there were 8 mattes, and then the ABH shimmers, there were 5, so they are here. The smaller square eyeshadows, that bigger one is from Catrice, but then these 3 round pans are the ones that I kept from the Juvia's Place palettes. So yeah, if the Juvia's Place mattes survived the depotting, I would have kept them, but they didn't. So these are the ones that I decided to keep. The warm neutrals, they're really similar to these ABH shades, so no point for me to keep them. But yeah, that is my magnetic palette right now. Moving on to lips, I'm going to declutter 3 lip products. The Ziaja, or however you're supposed to say this, Orange Spider Lip Balm, and I have had this for a couple of years at least. My sister actually gifted this one for me, and this is something that I have been using, and I do think this is a nice lip balm, but this one has just gone off. It have started smelling like gasoline, and also kind of like tasting like it. I'm not somebody who goes through a lip balm really quickly. I don't apply it all the times. I'm somebody who tends to wear a lip gloss or a lipstick. Typically a lipstick, today it's a lip gloss, so I typically apply lip balm maybe once a day, sometimes not even that. I totally don't need more than one, because if I have multiple ones, I cannot go through them before they go off. But then the colored lip products. These are now products that I really do hate these colors so much that they really make me feel ugly if I wear them. The W7, the all-rounder lip liner in the scent Moody. I bought this from Normal and they didn't have testers, so I just bought like all of the shades that they have, and I totally regret buying this one because this is a shade that is way too cool toned for me. I'm somebody with warm undertone, but I still sometimes like to do cool toned makeup. Like today my makeup is totally a little bit cooler. This is the sort of cool that when I put it to my face, it drains all of the color from my face. So here you can see that it is that really cool, kind of like purpley mauve shade. I have tried to wear this with some lipsticks, like some nude lipsticks, but it just makes it really mauvey. Then I have tried to wear this with a lip gloss, but then it just makes it look like a straight up purple shade, so no. Going to another extreme, to something that is just too warm and weird. This is the Juvia's Place Velvety matte lipstick in the shade In Vogue. Now I do have 3 of these lipsticks and none of them are my favorite when it comes to the color, but the other 2 I'm still able to make them work. This one, just no. I have tried quite a few times this past fall, but I just really hate this lipstick. This one is a really weird color. It is this light orangey sort of muted shade. Like it's supposed to be a nude, but at least on me it is too orange to be a nude. I do have another orange lipstick that is a little bit brighter. It's also a little bit sheer, which makes it more wearable, but that lipstick I absolutely love. But this one, it just looks so freaking ugly on me. There you can see, it doesn't even look super bad here. Like it now looks like a light brown, which leans orange, but this color, when I put this to my lips, it looks like I ate some sort of tomato sauce and have it like all around my lips. I don't want to ever again put it to my lips. Okay, so this next one I don't absolutely hate, but I got a version that I just enjoy more. And my sister actually wants to take this one, so I'm going to give this to her. If my sister didn't want to take this, I probably would use it up as my nighttime perfume or something like that. But since she wants this, I'm going to give this to her. So the Lattafa Eclaire. Now this is the Lattafa's version for the really popular perfume Bianco Latte. It must be like the most tubed fragrance out there. Like every one of these Arabic brands has gone up with a tube for that fragrance, and this one is the Lattafa's version. Unfortunately, this is not that good in my opinion. I sampled Bianco Latte about a year ago. First I tried to use the sample. I did have a 5ml sample, so it comes with quite a few uses. First I tried to use it somewhere like in the beginning of fall, but I just didn't really get the hype at all. But then I came back to it in winter, like in January last year, and I absolutely fell in love with it. I thought it's such a cozy scent for that really dark and cold time of the year. Bianco Latte is a really expensive fragrance, so I decided to buy Eclaire from Lattafa instead. But unfortunately, it's not so good. First of all, it took a really long time for this to macerate, like probably for 6 months when I sprayed this. I couldn't smell anything but alcohol. Now it works better, but I still do feel that it's somehow lackluster. I want something more. And then it does have this weird kind of like rubbery smell to it, which I don't really like. So yeah, I just don't think this is really well done. And also, if I spray this on, there is just a lot of alcohol still, and it takes a while for it to dry down. So on Black Friday, I actually wanted to get some samples from South.it. And then I thought that I'm going to allow myself to buy one perfume, and I got the Cream Velvet from Khadlaj, which is now the Khadlaj version for Bianco Latte. And I think this is a little bit different than Bianco Latte, but this is actually so good. In fact, I think I like this one better than Bianco Latte, and I certainly do like this better than Eclair. This one is more dense. A lot of people say it's more buttery, and I think it's more creamier. It's maybe a little bit warmer. Eclair compared to Cream Velvet, it's just kind of lackluster. I feel this is sort of drier, and this one is creamier and more buttery. Yeah, I do have that perfume now, so my sister will get the Eclair. And then I'm going to declutter 3 perfume samples. So first I do have 2 tubes for the Kayali Vanilla Royal Sugared Patchouli, which is my favorite fragrance. Unfortunately, I'm just worried that it's going to get discontinued, even though I asked the brand and they said that it wouldn't get discontinued. But still, it is out of stock everywhere and nobody knows when it's going to be in stock. I do have the 100 ml bottles, and it is, I would say I have probably like 2/3 or 3/4 left, but this totally makes me want to kind of like save it only for like really special occasions, because I don't want to waste it. It's my favorite, and if I cannot buy it, I don't want to be without it, because I'm worried it's going to be discontinued. I wanted to try the dupes for that there are available. So December Vanilla from Paris Corner and the Elysia Sugared Patchouli from Fragrance World, and both of these are horrible. December Vanilla, this one smells like cat pee on my skin, and I have not experienced that with perfume before. I have heard other people say that a perfume smells like cat pee, but I have not had that until with this one. And then the another one is the Elysia Sugared Patchouli. This one doesn't have vanilla there. I don't get it, like why make a dupe for Vanilla Royal without even making it a vanilla perfume, because while the Vanilla Royal has patchouli there, and it is too much patchouli for a lot of people, I will say that it is not like a blind buy safe perfume at all, but while it is heavily patchouli, and while there's a lot of other things going on, and it is kind of like this spicy and earthy scent, it is still first and foremost vanilla, which is why I like it. When I spray this to my skin, I can only get like the patchouli and then a lot of other stuff, but not the vanilla that makes it warmer and makes it this elegant perfume. Then I'm going to declutter one more sample that I was actually really excited to sample this one out, because it is so hyped, especially on TikTok. And I really do not get the hype, because this one, I don't say it's like the worst fragrance out there, but I do think this is way more polarizing what you might think of the reviews. Like, so many people say that this is blind buy safe. It is not. So this is Nafais Sharq from Khadlaj, and this probably is now the first Khadlaj fragrance that I have tried that I straight up hate. Typically Khadlaj makes things really well, and I do have now, I think I have 3 perfumes from them, and I do have quite a few samples. This one I cannot wear. So people say that this one is this beautiful vanilla fragrance with some fruits and some white florals. For me, this is first and foremost a really heavy white floral fragrance with some fruit there, and I don't get any of that vanilla, but sometimes white florals give me just a headache, and I tried this one on my hand. It gave me such a horrible headache, like I just had to wash it out, but still like the white floral scent just kind of like lingered on my skin, and I actually had to take painkiller because the headache was so bad. So yeah, there is just something in this fragrance, and I didn't overspray it or anything. I put one spray to my hand, but it's that sort of white floral that will give me that headache and will just make me nauseous. I just wish people wouldn't be like, oh, that is such a safe blind buy and something that everybody will love. No, it's not. If you're one of those people who have hard time with white florals, this might not work for you. If you hear some child noises on the background, it is my son. We are soon leaving. We need to go buy some things because our kids will start at the new daycare tomorrow. And yeah, my son is in the age where it's fun to say no to everything and resist dressing up. There's a couple of other things that I'm going to declutter, kind of like random things. First, an expired nail polish. And this is a that one. It is the A. England nail polish in the shade Camelot. And it is a black one. As you can see, I'm wearing black nail polish today, and it's not this one. Sadly, this one has gone so thick that it is just unusable. I tried to use it a couple of times in fall, but then I decided that, you know what, I just need to declutter this and I need to replace it. And now my son is throwing a temper tantrum because he doesn't want to get dressed up. So don't worry, he is fine, but yeah, he's a toddler. Yeah, anyways, I love black nail polish, but for the past few years I have been saving this. I have been first wanting to pan the dark nail polishes that I don't like so much. So I have panned some darker plums and burgundies. I have panned like a dark brown nail polish that I actually really enjoyed, but it's still not something that I would love as much as black. This past fall I thought that it is time to now pan this one, and it has just gone unusable. I don't have nail polish thinner and I don't want to get one. This one is from 2018, I think. So if I have a nail polish that old, maybe then it is just time to let go of it and yeah, learn my lesson to not have so much products that I'm not able to go through everything before they go off. And then even if I have so much, not first kind of like focus on everything that I don't like and never allow myself to use my favorite one. Black nail polish is not something that I would use throughout the entire year, but especially like in late summer and in fall, it is something that I do quite enjoy. Also now in winter, before we get closer to spring, then I'm starting to feel like maybe it's too heavy, but yeah, it is something that I really enjoy. Then there is one more product that I'm going to declutter. This one is from Sharq. It's their Got to Be Glued Spiking Wax, which absolutely is not the sort of product that really would work for my hair. I have still been using it, and I don't even know why I bought this in the first place, but I have been using this one to try to get my baby hair under control. For the past few years I have had baby hair because of postpartum hair loss and my hair growing back afterwards. Now I do have baby hair due to bleach damage, which is a whole other topic. But this one just is going to make my hair so dry that my hair cannot take it anymore. Also, this one is, I think, several years old, and it has gotten drier, I think, what it was. And when I put this to my hair, it's just so hard and dry, and I don't want to like risk breaking my hair even more because of forcing myself to use a styling product that is not supposed to be used on hair like mine to begin with. So what I now use instead is like gel that is actually going to give back a little bit more moisture at the same time while it makes my hair kind of like more sleek. So maybe the hold is not quite so good as it might be with this one, but at the same time it is still healthier. And yeah, yes, I know bleaching your hair is not healthy to begin with, but here we are. Okay, so those are all of the products that I'm going to be decluttering, and as I said, this is the first time ever really that I'm feeling a little bit guilty about decluttering. At least this is the first time in a really long time, because I now can see that my shopping habits are just out of control, even though I have been saying to myself that I'm doing so much better what I used to back in the days, and that is real. But I do notice that I have been in this cycle of buying too much, then decluttering, then project panning, and then again buying too much. I know it's problematic and I need to stop, and that's why I'm also trying to be more intentional with my declutters this year. But these products, like the perfume, I could use it up as my nighttime perfume if I wanted to, but since my sister wants to take it, I'm really happy to give it to her. The other products I just cannot use up, except the eyeshadow palettes. Like the potting was a little bit of a fiasco, especially with the Juvia's Place palette, but it is what it is. I cannot go back now, so yeah. Anyways, that is really everything for today. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope to see you in my next one. Bye bye.